Hey, it's BrickTsar. Welcome to another LEGO review. This time we're going to be looking at one of my favorite sets. It's a Discovery Kids LEGO set from 2003, and it is the Lunar Lander. Yes, based on the actual moon landing that happened in the 60s and early 70s. And I'm going to say this is the first one, so we probably got Buzz and Neil here. I don't know. But they don't give them names in the set. They're just NASA astronauts. But this is the lunar lander, the part that landed on the moon, thus the name Lunar Lander. It's a pretty cool set. It is a lot better than the other one that we actually got in the 70s around the time the space program was winding down, the moon missions. LEGO made a set. In fact, I think it came out a little bit after the last moon landing, and I've done a review of it, but it had a lot of blue, which doesn't really fit what this set should have. So that vintage set, like I said, I reviewed it a while back. I'll put a link to it in the description, and maybe throw a card up here somewhere, but it was, they didn't have as many varieties of color back then that was readily available in LEGO colors, I should say. So that's why they probably featured blue or something, because it probably wouldn't have looked right if they made it all in black or red. Probably blue was the closest to gray that they could get in that amount of pieces. But anyway, this one is really cool. They added a lot of details. We went to the Smithsonian to see one of the lunar lander modules that never went to the moon that is still in the museum there, and it's just neat seeing it. And it's like, you're like, how on earth did they use this to land on the moon, and then this top part to leave the moon? I mean, it just looks so fragile, and looks like it's made out of aluminum foil basically. But this set's got some good details. It does seem very true to what we saw at the Smithsonian. I'll throw in some pictures of our visit there throughout this review. So let's start by looking at some of the details, and we'll begin with the minifigures. Uh-oh, this one's gonna die. Hold on. Sorry, guy. Alright, here are our two minifigures, and started filming this, and then I stopped, and then I realized that something didn't seem quite right. Now, I did buy this set used, and sometimes there's variations in parts between different productions of sets, and I don't know if that's the case on this, but according to the instructions, I have an incorrect piece on here. Now, the torsos are correct. These are printed torsos that are exclusive to this set. And then you got the backpack, which probably not the most authentic to the set, but the molding and everything, but it works for this. Now, where I run into the problems when I take their helmets off. So we'll do that, and now they're dying because you can't breathe in the moon. But if I look at the instructions, it shows hair, and then this little piece on the side here. And I looked up the BrickLink inventory, and it does indeed show that it should be this minifigure head, which is not rare. It's in at least 20 something other sets, like 24, 25 sets. So we're going to switch these heads out. Alright, so now these are the correct heads, although I don't know if these astronauts were redheads. If this is indeed Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. But now they got the headpiece as far as what the LEGO instructions show, and what the BrickLink inventory shows. Now, again, I bought this used, and it did not appear that it was one that had been BrickLinked, where the seller had acquired it by getting the individual pieces, because it has these stickers, had the instruction manual, and all that. And usually people don't mix up the minifigure heads like that if they've are the original owner of the set. So I'm not 100% sure that these aren't indeed the two heads that actually came with his version of the set. I don't know. So I'm going to have to do research later to find that out. So getting off on the details of the set, but that's just something that when you buy something used, this is what's going to happen, and sometimes it's hard to tell if it is actually a mistake or actually is a variation in manufacturing. Now we'll look at the actual lunar lander. I forgot to mention the flag. That's a stickered piece. It's on both sides. And we'll just give you the 360 spin. There's the famous ladder where they come down. Got a sticker there. A lot of these tin hinge bricks, those are pretty hard to find, pretty rare. I think these tan wedge plates are pretty rare. These end pieces are kind of rare. So there you go. So this piece detaches, and this takes them back up to the module, the lunar, the thing that's orbiting around the moon, and then this is left on the moon. And there's the little rocket on the bottom side of it. You got your ladder. Don't think there's much else you can do with it. Those open up, but I think this is just to give it that look, the octagon look or whatever. How many, is that octagon? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, something like that. So it's not really for getting in and out of. But like these wedge plates in that color, I think are hard to find. And again, these hinge bricks are hard to find. So this set is actually one that's hard to piece together. It's expensive to buy used, and it is expensive to build. In fact, I think it's cheaper to buy it used than it is to bricklink it together. That's what I've seen in a lot of cases, unless you just happen to have some of the parts already. Now we'll look at this part. This door does open up. You got all the little gadgets that are on the side for communication and other purposes, and those do look more true to the actual real model that we have seen. Now this, you can't really do much with the inside of it. I mean, the door does open. You can throw your guys down in there, but you can't really see them. It's just a kind of a round opening in there. There's no controls on the inside, so nothing to see here. But the other details are pretty neat. You got your little thrusters there, and this, like I said, this module does go back up to the orbiter, but this doesn't come back to Earth. So it's got the little thruster on the underside there. It just amazes me. And I know the gravity on the moon is 1/6 of that of the Earth, but it just amazes me that they were actually to build something like this, land it on the moon, and yet get it back to the Earth. I wonder, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. I wonder what those first ones that went to the moon were thinking. Is this thing really going to get me back in an orbit around the moon? But it did, and they all made it back. Everybody that went to the moon came back, unless you saw Apollo 18. But it's a pretty good set. I really love this set. It's in the classic grays and dark grays. So this is one that'd be hard to piece together, but it's an awesome set. It's one of my favorite sets, and it's one of the best of the Discovery Kids Lego sets. There were some other micro builds, the International Space Station, Space Shuttle, and we have all of them, I think, except for the Mars lander that went. So anyway, thought I'd show you this one and tell me what you think. Do you like these sets? How do you think this compares to the one that came out in the 70s? It's kind of funny. And if you own this set, did you have the minifigure heads like this, or did you have the ones with the red pieces of red hair that I put in there, like the instructions showed? So did you have these, or did you have the ones with the hair? Let me know, because I really don't know. All the inventories I've seen show the ones with the hair, not these plain ones with no hair. And the instructions actually show that. Oh, and on the instructions it does have a picture of the lunar surface on the back. And it does show some of those other sets I was talking about. Actually, I don't have this one either. So there's a couple of the sets. We do have the International Space Station. We have the Space Shuttle. We don't have the Mission to Mars set. And we don't have this one, the Mars Explorer. So I need to work on getting those. We do have the Saturn V. So thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next video. You have been watching BrickTsar.